look for me, my baby, come reggae.
Hey guys, you've officially tuned in into another episode of Afro Buzz. Nunu, what's up?
What's good? It's your boy Mike Nunu, aka Nunu, the Chosen One. And once again, today we have new guests.
We have two special guests. One is coming back from last week.
She must have been by you, Ida. No. I'm not special.
This week, Ola came back for the second time.
You loved us too much.
You feel special?
I mean, yeah, I heard you guys loved me so much last time, but that's come back, so, what can I say?
Man, that was, I think that was one of our best episodes. A lot of people had something to say about it.
Okay.
So,
good things, hopefully.
I mean, it was very, some people agreed, some people didn't.
I'm guessing which topic, maybe?
The DJ.
Oh, figured.
Who the best DJs in Atlanta are.
Yeah. That was,
you should have put a polling contest, on the...
We should do what?
Everybody
put your comment down with, the best DJ.
Well, we did that, but a lot of people did. People, for some reason, people don't like to put, they don't like to put under the comments. They like to send us personal messages, So
I'm going to kill you because you said I'm not a good DJ?
Yeah, especially on WhatsApp, because I send a blast. I send a blast in my WhatsApp, and so that's when people respond.
We're nigga, I'm a good DJ.
I don't think anybody called DJ Equal bad. Did you call Equal
nobody
bad?
called it
Yeah,
bad.
okay, so I don't know why the Equal.
She calls him Q bad.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Okay, you know what? Before we get into the topic, let's introduce Ida.
Hi.
Thank you, Ida, for coming today.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes. You call her Ida. That's I call her Ada. You call her Ida.
Correct.
So it's
right.
Ada.
She's
So which one is
Ethiopian,
it? Okay.
So my parents call me Ida, but
Okay.
everybody else calls me Ada. So it's either or.
Just like Blaine.
She's from Ethiopia.
Right.
I'm from Ethiopia.
So
and
it only
then
makes
I'm
sense.
like, how are you always correcting
I know,
me?
right?
Thank you.
And Ida's actually one of the few people, Ethiopians, that I know that's actually in the African scene, like West African scene.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
So, BB, tell everybody how you really say your name. Because I say Blaine as well. So, tell everybody how you really say your name.
Well, it's spelled
Ethiopian
Belen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Belen.
Blaine.
You
see,
I say Blaine.
I say Blaine too.
Yeah, so what is it?
So Belen.
Belen.
Yeah.
So you got a little
Belen or Belen?
Belen.
Belen.
Oh, so that's the real Ethiopian way of saying it. Okay.
Yeah. That's how my family says it.
Yeah.
Mine is also Ola,
No, it's Ola Jide.
It's
Ola.
Now we giving out government.
No, I know your name had Ola in the beginning.
Yeah.
So both of them why?
It's just everybody's
like my childhood friend, right? He's also Nigerian, but he's from Igbo. And he's first name is Otua, middle name is Otua, last name is Otua.
Wow.
Otua.
I'm trying to see what that means.
But why?
What you mean? I
mean, they all have meaning. All I mean is wealth or joy. Mm-hmm. So most now mine means wealth. Stand up for my first name and last name means wealth of God. So.
So the first could have a different meaning, the last can have a different meaning as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That front part is just the essential part. That's probably why they kept it.
Gotcha. Anyways.
But yeah, before we get into the topic, I do want to address last week's episode.
Because she's been receiving death threats.
Please address and apologize if needs be.
Danicho texted me and said, well, Fully Focused is better than all of us because he's well traveled and he's more experienced. Mm-hmm. And my response to that is that at the end of the day, whether you're well traveled or experienced, everybody still has the same access to the same equipment and same music.
True.
Second thing I wanted to address was somebody was like, we actually had her as a guest, that James Bar, I forgot. The one that works for the corporate Waffle House?
Oh, yes, Courtney.
Coco. Oh,
Courtney.
Courtney.
Yes, Courtney.
She said she made a comment about that she's cool with everybody and she thinks they're all great. And I was like, my intentions aren't to say anybody's bad. It's just a personal preference.
Yeah. Because I know, if you ask me, in a way, I'm better than Focus.
And it's not that I was criticizing.
You feel you're better than Focus?
In a way.
Oh, okay.
It's not that I'm criticizing.
It's not even about well-traveled, because even with...
And that's the problem with that person that's well-traveled.
Even with people that are here, it doesn't
kind
kind of matter about traveling. It's just about you knowing your music.
You know your music has nothing to do with
traveling. I made a whole Afro House mixtape before anybody ever came out with Afro House and started playing Afro House. I've never been to South Africa.
Yeah.
But I did my research and I knew what's hot.
Yeah, that was my point. And I never really criticized them as a person. It was more of their skill set. So that is two things I want to address. But while we're on that topic, who is your favorite DJ?
Equal.
Really?
Definitely. Yeah, he's definitely my favorite.
Why do you
And then
like
Ola, I'm sorry. You're next.
It's
So,
not a
so you
competition.
don't like when
Everybody
Nunu
has
mix?
their own.
Yeah, you don't like when Nunu mix in the
Well,
crib
you
and stuff?
don't really DJ anymore.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
yeah.
people say
Because
that.
he's
Why do
Hollywood.
though?
Right. He's big
Nah.
now.
More management,
Sure.
doing other things.
You can tell this is rehearsed because he said that last week. More management last week. He said it.
I mean, when people ask me, okay, why you don't think? I'm like, yo, I
But
gotta
you
handle
must have
sections.
put a
I
lot
gotta
of
do
things
this. I
that
gotta
we
do
said
that.
in consideration because last week I noticed you were doing a lot of the things that we brought up.
What's that?
Like the way you were transitioning. I haven't
Well,
heard
you've
you
never heard
DJ.
me
Yeah,
DJing,
so
like, God
I don't
knows
know if you
how
were
long.
intentionally doing that or
Nah, this
you
is how I
always DJ
DJ.
like that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't switch up my style just because what it goes.
See, like
Okay.
with Ola, I never really got to experience his DJing skills because. Like,
That's
Metro
Yeah,
days
no,
was
we're
poppin'.
talking. Yeah, no, Metro. You know what?
I
I take that
remember.
back. I did experience his
you ever come to
DJing
Metro,
skills.
that
And
was a
Metro
horrible.
days, that is
Yeah.
true. I take that back. So Metro Fusion days, yes, that nigga was nice. You know what
Okay,
I'm saying? But
maybe
lately,
you
he
used
has
to
it.
be good, but now you kind
Well, he-
of
I mean,
lost
I'm
your
starting
mojo
he
to
has
because
it.
actually
you're
really
rusty.
great. You just haven't heard me really like that. But don't worry. They used to tell me,
Everybody got
Okay.
Speaking of clubs, you guys have a big announcement. So why didn't you tell us last week when you were here?
I'm Nigerian, so we like to hold everything back to the last minute.
Right.
So tell us about what you guys have going on with this new club. It's called Ace, right?
Go ahead.
You shy?
So, it's called Ace Atlanta. So we're supposed to open next week. Well, this coming Friday.
Okay.
My birthday just passed. His
Oh.
birthday's coming up.
Happy belated
Happy
birthday!
belated. Wow.
Thank you. And his birthday's coming up, so we decided to just combine our birthdays and open Friday.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Fine.
Okay.
So where is it going to be
Us.
located? You know, my cousin's actually doing the construction.
She's nephew's cousin. Right.
Small world, huh?
I know.
Everybody
So
did a
that's
little
how I knew
something.
it a long time ago.
Right. Oh, okay, yeah. So Teddy told me you were nephew's cousin, so I kind of knew as
Drink my
well.
Hennessy real quick.
But we're actually located
But
right
he's
next
quiet. I feel like he doesn't really talk.
He
no
talks to
way.
us.
No.
to. With me, we fight all the time. He's quit like a good 2-3 times, but now we're cool. Today we're cool, not this morning.
Today.
That's
Yeah.
good.
But we're located right across, what's that place
We
called?
won't give them all the information, but
You don't
we're
think
located
we're
on
about
Buford
to-
Highway.
We're about to open like
You
tomorrow.
gotta give them. Yeah, you gotta give them.
You
That's
know it's
right.
on Buford Highway, so
No,
It's
no.
no secret if they
Yeah,
use
no,
it
you got-
towards
I mean,
I
it.
think
like-
everybody already knows, though.
Okay.
Like,
I mean,
a
if
long
some
time ago.
people know
Really?
where,
See,
some people
we
don't.
don't
Well, I
know.
mean, I don't know, because it's not.
I
It
think
was
you
a few
knew.
people that outside of them that told me
That's like
Oh,
that you were opening up a spot.
oh,
Yeah,
see.
some people know, some people don't know. Some
So-
people do know the spot.
Okay,
where
if you
it
don't
is.
want to give details as far as like,
It's located right across, what is Ivangari by
Ivangari.
SL. So you know
okay.
where Larumba is?
yeah,
Right, same plaza.
nice. What kind of like
Is
vibe is
it,
it?
is it in the same closet as SL?
No.
Oh, okay.
That
You know
sounds
Larumba?
a little
It's
dumb.
No, I
a
don't.
Hispanic nightclub.
Oh, that's by the Burlington
Right,
Coal
it's like-
Factory area. Like,
No. It's like right
You know where
next to
Ivangari
SL.
is?
yeah.
Right across from Ivangari.
Oh,
Independent
that little
block.
building, like it's always dark over there. Like,
Right.
well,
So
hopefully
we're
now it's gonna be
about to-
lights
right.
shining up. Gotcha. Okay.
But you know,
Yeah.
Tarek is opening up a club over there too.
Well, he's right next to us.
Yeah.
The living room. Is
Yeah.
that the name?
Oh.
Yeah, they're opening up hopefully soon.
Yeah, so
we
it'll be good for traffic.
yeah, right.
Would it be good for traffic?
It'll
Find
be
out later.
actually really good.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll
Because
find out later.
people
Right.
said that
That
about
makes sense.
the plaza where Josephine and SL and all that. I mean, XS was, and then people said that about where Amora and Aroma and
Luca
stuff.
Amora
And
and-
then it ended up benefiting all of
Right,
them.
that's how I feel. 'Cause
But
why not?
what's the vibe going to be like?
Well,
Is
we're
it like a lounge setting, like a big club? Is it
definitely not a nightclub, just the usual,
like?
sections. Right,
It's a bar and grill.
right.
So you guys are gonna be open during the day?
Yeah.
Definitely.
What's the hours?
What kind of food?
We haven't decided yet, but possibly in the afternoon. Food
We have to
wise,
open starting 3 p.m.
right.
So we'll be open from 3 to 3. Well, 3:30.
But food wise, I feel like we're probably going for everything African, American. So probably have like 2 chefs, depending.
Well, we're trying to have like African nights and non-African nights. So yeah, so it depends. So on African nights, we're probably gonna do African food, and then on American nights, then we're gonna do regular American food. That's the plan. That's why we just don't want to limit ourselves to just African crowd or. You see what I'm
course.
saying? So we just want to do maybe 1 or 2 nights African, and then the rest could be like maybe Hispanic, or
Yeah.
different promoters have approached us. So
I mean, the area
So-
the area that you guys are in is
Right.
good for that. You know, you
For
can get
now,
Latino
yeah.
and every culture to be
Right,
diversified.
Right, exactly.
So is it more of like a Istanbul or is it more of like a SL vibe?
SL vibe.
SL, okay.
What was the
So-
first one you named?
Istanbul.
Oh, okay, yeah, definitely. That's
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Ethiopian
SL.
way, instant blue, in Istanbul.
Actually, you know, it's not called that anymore.
No,
It's just
there's
called Blue
another
now.
place
It's-
called
oh, Istanbul's now became blue?
It's just
Yeah,
Blue
And then
now.
there's Istanbul. So it's two
Yeah,
of
there
them.
is two spots.
So
Yeah,
one
yeah,
is
yeah.
like a hookah spot,
They're
right?
both
They're both
hookah
hookah
spots.
spots.
Right. Okay.
One of
yeah.
them is just like the dancing hookah spot, like
Yeah,
the
right.
Mediterranean thing.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
okay,
Exactly.
okay.
I thought.
But you know, the one you're talking about is actually just called Blue now. They changed the name.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
But they
so
have
there's a
different
whole
Oh
different
yeah, I
owners.
right?
noticed that.
They have different locations?
It's
No,
not.
that's
It's not called Insta
location.
Blue anymore. It's just called
Yeah, it's
Blue
only one
now.
location.
Right.
Oh.
But
The
that's
one you're talking about, the one in Buckhead,
Yeah,
I
right?
think that.
No, where like,
Atlanta Fish Market.
I think it was in Gwinnett.
Oh, that's just
Yeah,
that's the original
yeah,
Insta
yeah,
Blue, the
right,
one with the
right,
belly
right.
dance. Oh no, that's not like it, right?
So,
They have like the belly dancers sitting on the
because
floor.
when you say grill, like I'm thinking like,
Oh no, that's just like what they call it. That's just technicality.
okay. So in the day you'll have it like, what's the experience? Is it like,
Well, you've been to Eden.
Most of the restaurants.
so it's gonna be like Eden.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, no, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, so like the times.
So you're not really pressured during the day to
Right,
like,
right.
you know, go and buy bottles. You can come
Right.
in.
Right,
Just
you can
come
come in,
chill
eat.
and-
Yeah.
Nice. And then
I like
there's
that.
gonna-
Yeah.
So and then based on the day you'll have African food and
Right.
different types. Nice.
Exactly.
I think the African food would probably be during the day almost every day, but just not, maybe you don't really know African chefs during the nighttime, whereby Americans are promoting. You never know, Sometimes the Africans, do come out, but it just depends.
What made you want to go that route?
A lounge.
Yeah.
Well.
Or
it's-
get into the nightlife, like
Right. Well, it's like to me, make your bad habit, your income
Profitable.
type of thing. So
Yeah.
it's like we're always out. Let's be real. We always spend money. So why not use that money and make our own? And then you get what I'm saying. Spend it in our own. Just basically invest your money, and it just made sense. We're always
Okay.
out. We know everybody. Then we.
And then how did you guys get together?
Yeah, that's where I want to get. So like, what is the collaboration? Like, how did that happen? Like, what?
So sometimes I'm smart. And
Sometimes, no, I know you're very
not
smart.
all the
Trust me,
time.
I'm trying to pick your brain
So-
several times.
Exactly. So they're definitely the hottest promoters,
Of
like
course.
African promoters in Atlanta. Like no competition. So
When she said date, she mean Goodfellas.
yeah, good fellas.
Yes.
And so it only made sense because at first it was us, me and my boyfriend, and our
Your
partner,
boyfriend?
Peter. You already know my boyfriend. Don't go there.
JK.
Right, and our partner, and I mean we do know people, but we're not them. You
Of
get what I'm
course.
saying? So it would make sense to include them so that. Oh,
No, go ahead.
so
No,
so
sir.
that they could feel like you get what I'm saying. They have to bring crowd all the time. We
Okay.
don't just want them to come work for us. So
Of course.
we approached them, and
It made sense.
we
I
could go
mean,
from
from us, it was more so we've already been thinking about it, like, earlier from this year. We had two, I guess projects that we're just looking at.
Okay.
One was them, one was somebody else, and then, I mean, we just decided why not just roll, and we just rolled with her, so.
I mean, obviously that's familiarity, so
Yeah,
just get
and
that
then,
going.
we're kind
Okay.
of close on what knows everybody, so it's like, okay, why not?
That's
Kinda
cool.
good.
That's
I mean,
a
it's
smart
been
decision.
Yeah, good experience for us so far. We always fight, but at the end of the day, we make it happen. So
Yeah.
it's worth it.
I like the fact what y'all doing. The fact that like you guys are young.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We've been in the scene. We've seen both sides of the scene where
Right.
we don't party our life away, don't waste so much money.
Right,
And I like the fact that you guys were able to. Obviously, you're already in the promotion game, and
Right.
as a promoter, the best if the next level is to either move on completely or on your own spot.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
That's the next level. So I like the fact that you guys are doing that. And the fact that you guys were able to collaborate at such a young age and in the community that you're in.
Right.
You know what
Me
I'm saying?
as
Try
a
to bring-
client and him as somebody
exactly.
that's in the business.
That's been in the business
it
and
only
client.
makes sense.
The
So
partnership.
that's like a really big topic or a really big argument between us because they see it from the
business side.
right, and I see it from the client side. So
Exactly.
I'm always like, well, me as a client, I know
What
what
client
people
we talking
want.
about?
Well, I mean, a client.
Well,
I mean, come
People
on.
who's
about
been-
Trust me, trust me. I know. Hang around Ada. Trust me, I know. We don't build a few mansions for a few people, so I know.
Yeah.
So I know.
Yeah.
So I know.
Yeah.
So I know.
But yeah.
Yeah. But I have a few questions for you.
Me?
Yeah,
Okay.
as far as like, you know, in the Habesha community, because I remember like I started off waitressing when we were at Josephine's,
Right.
and that was like in the Habesha community was a big deal. It was like that's not appropriate, like, and then a lot of people were concerned. You got a lot of criticism. Family
With
didn't
the way
like
you
it.
dress up
Yeah,
and
and
stuff,
it
right.
was I got a lot of backlash from it and stuff. And then in general, just going out was an issue. It was kind of like right out in the scene.
Right.
So coming from that community.
Right.
And I personally just don't enjoy I guess I just stopped enjoying the nightlife on a consistent base.
Right.
But obviously, like you like it, so you're continuing that path.
Right.
What about the backlash you received? Like, do you feel like you just don't care? You cut it out, or how are you going to cope with it?
From Ethiopians, basically.
Yeah, from the Ethiopian community.
Well, I'm not really linked to the Ethiopian community. Like, my only Ethiopian friends are the ones I grew up with. I've known them for 20 years. But you have to keep in mind, I grew up in Ethiopia, yes, but I went to a private school. So the school I went to, basically, it was like really diverse. Like, we had Ethiopians were probably like 20%, and then it was like French people, Americans, everything. So I'm used to being in this community. So to me, I don't see the difference. So I'm used to having...
Not necessarily like being in this community, but more so because there is a huge, and that's going to go into our next topic, but there is a huge Habesha community, and that's another thing. Like, you get a lot of backlash from what the promoters and the club owners, like, why are you with the West Africans? You know what I mean? Yeah, as a female, it's already like,
now,
why are you with the West Africans? So as far as like, not only are you going to be with the West Africans, but now you're a club owner. So it's like
dealing with West Africans as well.
It's like West Africans. Or you just don't pay attention to it.
I love Ethiopians, I'm Ethiopian and all, but I really don't care.
We've claimed it to the West African side.
I'm 100% Ethiopian. I love my culture. You get what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I don't feel like me hanging out with non-Ethiopians or whatever defines me as a person. You see what I'm saying? So if anybody wants to judge me based on who I hang around or, who I choose to, spend my time with, then it really doesn't matter to me. My parents are open-minded. My parents know I'm not dating an Ethiopian. They know, they don't know he's Nigerian, but they do know that he's African. You get what I'm saying?
Now.
Right. That's a different topic.
For another day.
Right.
Mom, Pop, Nick, come see.
I don't care.
You don't. Okay, so you completely tune out anything that's coming from the Habesha
If you're
community.
that stupid to think that way, if you're that racist in your mind, it really doesn't matter to me. Your opinion doesn't matter.
And
That's
like,
good.
I want to say this before we continue. Like, I've known Ada for some time. I met, like 3 years now,
Right.
sort of 3 years. And one thing I did, like, you and Ada are almost the similarity is very close, I guess.
But I actually, maybe because the noise was closer to me.
Right, because your family's here.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
And I was like affected by a lot of the things that were like the Habesha backlash that I was getting for being like involved in a lot of the West African things.
Right.
But I mean, if you look at it right now, most every waitress is like, there's a lot of Abisha waitresses.
There's a lot of
now
I mean,
There's
now
a lot
it's
of
different.
Abisha waitresses.
Now
It's so
it's a
much
little bit
different.
different.
I mean,
Now
I see
it's a
where
little
she's
bit
coming
different.
from. Because let's be honest, Ethiopians
This was
are
like
really
3-4 years ago.
basically Ethiopians tend to be racist.
judgmental and racist.
To a certain extent. You get what I'm saying?
I didn't say it. Lulu said
It's
it.
I'm gonna
like-
say it. Some of them, not all of them, because I
Like,
know
at
this
least
one
the
right here is day
men,
one.
the women
Yeah, the
could
men.
be a little bit more open-minded. The men are really racist. Well, personally,
Very racist.
I feel like it's because they know,
What's up?
they
In
know
the West
they
African
and I used
community.
to try to tell
non-Ethiopians
you
are not really. You've never heard of girls saying, "Oh, I like Ethiopian men," but you would hear, "I like Ethiopian women." So it's like they're kind of limited to us. If we don't like them, then
So you guys are like the.
Never
Right.
looked at it that way.
No,
Like,
I'm
that's
saying,
yo,
that's the
yo.
reality. So it's like they don't want to
Take
lose
yourself
it.
into a Ethiopian spot. You know what I'm saying? Go in there. You and I, where we from? Go in there with an Ethiopian woman, and see how the men look at you.
Right.
Prime example. Now this is my girl. Like, I've been fucking with her for God knows how long. And to this day, no matter where I go with her, there are certain Ethiopians that she's related to or she has connections with.
Right.
And these motherfuckers will not even look my way.
See, it's funny because
That's
Peter
probably true. I
says
can
the
believe
same
that.
thing.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
When
they
we
will
go
not
to, like,
even look my way. And the crazy thing, like,
small
they've seen
Ethiopian
me. They've
places.
seen me with her so many times.
But-
They know the relationship in a sense.
But they
and all
probably
this
don't
stuff.
believe it.
They, of
Probably
course, they don't
think
believe it.
she's
But also,
hiding
like,
it.
But my thing is like, people are, I guess, since a lot of the people in Atlanta, because I grew up here, they've known me since I was a kid, so
Right.
they're comfortable to tell me straight to my face, like,
Right.
why are you doing
always
that?
like-
Yeah, or
But
and
no, they're
why?
I'm
like, they,
I
no,
don't
they will
get
literally
it,
say,
so-
like, why are you with this Nigerian nigga? Why are you with this?
I mean, let's
You
be
know.
honest, and I'm just being honest, and I feel like Nigerians to a certain extent have a bad reputation when it comes to the
Look at his
men.
face.
Morality. No,
I mean,
it's
this
not.
is
What do you mean the
reality.
man though? Like what
It
do you
is-
mean?
The
Like,
men, like, well, you guys.
like
It's
men,
more- it's
women,
more
women,
men than
what
women.
do you mean
But
men
other
with what?
Africans, like other Africans, think that the men tend to cheat. Are basically you get
Every
what,
man cheats.
no,
shit.
no,
Every
but it's
culture
every
man,
culture.
you know?
Ethiopian men cheat, but it's very like in Ethiopia we don't really. Okay, me personally, growing up in Ethiopia, I only know like 2 families that got divorced, so it's not really a common. People don't really
In
discuss.
Nigeria too, people don't
people-
get divorced.
people don't really
anybody
discuss
back
But
home
cheating
get
is part of
divorced?
No,
Nigerian
Ghana?
culture.
No, it's not a part of
Yes, it
any
is.
culture.
It's not part of any
That's
culture.
How you gonna
This
be- how you
is
gonna
what we
just
need,
say
Dele.
that?
This is what we need,
Dele,
Dele.
Dele, enter this one right here. Enter.
Cheating is not part
Enter.
of any
Come
culture.
on,
Dele, come over
Cheating
here.
is just a normal thing that you do, regardless of the
Come over
culture.
here.
I can tell he has a lot to say. He's been like moving around like.
This is
Dele.
interesting. Hi everybody, how you doing?
Dele. This is one of the hottest
Zani,
guys in the city right now.
Okay, so
Okay, we see you.
I
Okay,
know.
okay.
What is it, chinchilla?
Right,
I
like,
mean, I'm Nigerian, so it's cold in America. I was born in a village in Nigeria, so
So let's keep it real quick, Dele.
Yeah.
Is cheating part of the culture?
no.
it's not
Thank
part
you.
of the
It's
Are you
not
culture.
part of the
serious?
culture.
Let me be
I
honest.
have to
Okay,
say
so this is
lie.
You can't say it's part of
no. Let me
If you're gonna say that, then
Let
that's
me
part of
say it.
Ethiopian
Okay.
men's culture too.
No, no,
Ethiopian men
No,
cheat.
it's not.
Yes, it
No,
is.
it's
Nigerian
not.
women are
Okay,
more
this is the thing.
outspoken when it comes to cheating. So that's why
Nigerian women or men?
women, they're not scared to tell you that their husband did it. My mom, for example, I've never heard her say, I'm sure she's probably going through something similar, or my aunts, they don't really discuss
don't
that
discuss
kind of
it,
stuff
yeah.
because
Yeah,
it's like
because they're
taboo.
more private, you know.
No, no,
and I feel
yeah,
like Ethiopian women are
it's
probably more
such a big-
submissive back home as opposed to here.
That's what I'm saying. And Nigerian women are not like
Oh, no,
pushovers like we
Yeah.
are. We have to basically shut up. So that's why you guys are more exposed.
Exactly.
Okay, now that
But
makes
I don't
sense,
think it's
yeah.
part of the culture.
But it's not-
I don't think it's part of the
not part of the
culture.
culture.
I
And
think
we
it's
don't
part
have
of
a
the
bad
culture.
reputation
It's like
where like
embracing it. I don't think they embrace cheating per se, but
No, because if you're
culture
married,
embraces
Wait.
a lot of the Nigerian women when they're married, they kind of expect to get cheated on.
No, they don't.
they do. They do.
no, they do
I
not.
have had
No,
like
no. This is too easy.
No, they do not. No woman ever gets
saying
married. No woman
I
ever gets married and think I'm
No,
gonna
shit,
get
okay,
cheated on one
so
The
day.
household
Right.
man, it's not. It's
No,
not.
I've dated Nigerian men before, Peter, and every single
Damn, she gave her
time.
boyfriend's name. Wow.
Oh,
They're
his name is
public. What do you
Peter.
mean? She's not hiding
Yeah,
it.
I mean, she's not hiding,
I
but
have-
sheesh.
Well,
Discretion.
Well,
Discretion of discretion.
I did
Discretion.
ask him if I could mention his name.
Oh, you
and he
did?
said
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Okay.
All right, Peter.
So, well, the whole point is like every single time, I go talk to my Nigerian friends that are like older than me. They're probably like in their they're 35, married and stuff. They always tell me, you know what? Yeah, he's a man. He's going to cheat. But you have to be able to change him. You get what I'm saying? So they've already so I understand what you mean by. I don't think that as part of their culture, but they've accepted it
You're
more
saying
than.
that based on what they call it. A black woman can say the same thing too. You know,
Well,
a
I
regular
mean-
American woman can be like, "Yo,
They can say that, but it's just
It's
more
not
common.
Nigerian
It's more
thing. It's
public
just
and
what
it's
they
more
call it.
common in Nigeria.
No.
no,
No.
no, it's not."
Are you Nigerian?
Oh, that's
Come,
okay.
come.
But you
Do you think
Come sit right next to
America-
her. Come sit next to her.
Exactly.
The same way, like you guys feel like, Ethiopians are racist. I can sit here and tell you, no, they're
No,
not.
I don't
but
think
you get what I'm saying?
all Ethiopians are racist. I don't
But
think
you-
that.
but
There are certain.
Majority.
A
No,
majority
I
of the
think no, the thing about me is Ethiopian guys are racist. The girls
The
are
thing, the guys,
the guys, yes.
and I
That's
don't. The
what
thing,
we're
was, I don't
scared
even
of.
think
It's not
it's
just the
racist.
guys, it's our
No.
parents too.
We're scared
I
of
don't
being
think.
judged.
I don't think it's
That's
even
the problem.
racism.
Us women are
It's
scared
just
of.
fear. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just fear. I don't think it's like. I don't think they're really racist. It's just the fact that
They're jealous or something.
It's jealousy of stuff
And
like
they
that.
also
They see
think they're like superior as
Exactly.
far as and it goes way
because like
back.
from experience of what I know, I've seen Ethiopian man. I've seen a poor, no money Ethiopian man, and I see how they treat me when they don't have money.
Right.
And I've seen the same Ethiopian man get money and see how they treat me when they got money.
Well, that's the same with if he don't got money today, he'll be really nice to you compared to tomorrow.
Not necessarily, man. I like somebody like me. If I don't have money, you won't even know if I don't have money. Because the same way I am, whether I have money, don't have money.
Right,
the same
but
way.
that
You know what I'm
one
saying?
man is a one man too, and
But
you
that's
are
true.
one man.
I am
So
one man.
you cannot say
Special
all
man.
Ethiopians.
Anyways, don't get it twisted. It's not in our culture to
It's
cheat.
not, but-
I understand what you're trying to say.
Okay.
Like we accept it these days now. Like
Right.
I would advise you if you tell me, oh, yeah, my boyfriend is Nigerian. I would be like, well,
Be careful.
be careful. What I gotta say is, if he loves you, it will take care of you.
Right.
It will be there
But he
for
will
you.
also cheat,
But
right?
it will cheat.
Yeah,
possibility.
right.
So it's yeah.
That's,
possibility.
That's how.
Yeah, but it's not our culture,
it's
but
not
it's just
really-
that it's
it's not a
crazy.
culture.
But the thing
How
is, the
it's-
thing is, the thing
It's
is
not-
this.
it's not
All these
part of
things
your
that you're
culture.
saying, you can say the same thing for the
every
American
man.
man.
For anybody.
For the
So-
Asian,
no,
you can say the same thing for an Ethiopian man
No, no,
too.
no, 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 no,
Yes,
no,
you
no, no,
can.
no,
Ethiopian man
You
that
can't
you do
say
crazy
that.
shit.
You want to tell me Ethiopian men don't
We're
cheat?
talking
I'm
majority.
Ethiopian, so I'm
They don't cheat.
So you can't say majority of
Even if
Nigerians
they
cheat either. You can't say
I would-
majority.
the woman
of
is not
Africans
gonna
cheat.
call
You
them
can't say
out.
that.
Right. If I
Right.
go to my mom and I'm like, Mom, my husband is cheating.
She go,
my
"Oh,
mom
my
will
father-
be
your father
like,
did it too."
You know what? What's up? Let's go. You get what I'm saying? Do you need me to pack? Do you need money? You gotta go. So she's not gonna tell me, you know what? It's
You have to-
okay.
of course
you know,
not.
like you have to change him as well. You would never get that advice from your mom. I think
I
maybe
don't
we
believe
should
you
say
get it from a-
Ethiopians. I can't speak for other cultures, but
So
for
you want to say your dad
Ethiopians,
has never cheated?
He doesn't know that.
if my father has ever cheated on my mother,
You would not know. She
I
wouldn't
don't
tell
know.
you.
I don't
Exactly.
think
And she would know
won't.
either.
That's what I'm saying.
That
She
goes
wouldn't
back to
tell.
what I was
She
saying
wouldn't tell
earlier.
her.
She wouldn't tell.
wouldn't.
So later in life.
So that's
That's why I don't think
knows.
that's why I don't think if you come and tell your mom, oh, my husband cheats, she's gonna be like, oh yeah, let's go pack. She might just be
No,
like, okay,
and I know
I'm
for a
just gonna
fact-
handle it.
No, I promise you.
But
that's
it's
probably
best for,
why
you know-
my mother would never cheat. It would never tell me because she knows that if she comes and tells it to anybody, they're gonna tell her to leave, and she knows she can't leave. She got
Right.
children, so
Right.
that's that. I feel like that's what the reason is. Like, but with Nigerians, it's like not even Nigerians. A lot of West African countries, to be honest, I've seen it with Ghanaians and other countries, and it's no offense, but it's a little bit more acceptable with those cultures more than like in Ethiopia. That's just
Okay, let me. I want
a
you to do.
no-go.
I want you to do this for me. It's an experiment. Experiment. When you go home, just call your mother up one day, just randomly one day, just be like, Mom, just fake cry. You're on the phone, so you don't know whether it's true or not. So fake cry and be like, oh, boyfriend cheated on me, and see her response. Get her response.
My mom
Leave.
would probably buy me a flight. to
Your mom will
Ethiopia.
buy you a flight ticket.
No, I'm
really?
not playing, but like I promise.
What do you think she's gonna do?
Like,
She's not
Well,
gonna
you know
tell
what?
me
You guys are
shit.
not married. That's
Even if
different.
I'm
You're
married.
not married.
Right.
What you mean doesn't matter?
No,
you know,
if you're married,
if
your
you're married,
parents
it's
never
totally different.
tell you to leave your husband
I don't know no
And
mother.
I promise you, like
I don't
Yeah,
think
that's
any
why I'm
mother.
wondering
I
too.
don't
Like,
think
I
any
never see your mother
mother.
telling you to leave your husband.
Yeah.
No mother
Your-
gonna
your
tell
mother
you
So
will
to
how
tell
do you want to
leave
deal
your
with it? Especially if
Yeah,
you have
she will
kids.
tell you
If-
no.
if
She's
you're
on the same
married-
street, even if
No, if you're
that's the
married-
same thing I'm saying.
if she promised
it means
me, I don't know
listen.
what she would tell me because
She will not
never
tell you
Probably
to
see
leave.
she would
The
just tell you what to do with it.
Advice your husband.
The
One
first
thing
two,
for sure-
the first two times, first 2 or 3 times, your mother's not going to tell you to
Right.
leave your husband.
I think the first thing she would tell me is don't
Take a
talk
break.
about it anymore.
Right.
Like it's like don't tell anybody. Don't basically the same advice she followed. You get what I'm saying? That's why we probably never knew anything. I'm sure
Yeah,
they've gone
yeah,
through a lot, but
yeah.
the first thing she's going to tell me is do not
Tell anyone.
tell anybody because
Yeah.
if I do and I stay, then
You're
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
be
viewed as a
judged.
fool.
But in
Exactly.
other cultures, if you stay, it's like they're probably gonna talk about you for a little bit, but it's kind of like normal. It happens, and she was able to change him, and they move on. Not with the Ethiopians. They're never gonna let it go. 20 years later, they're gonna be like, you see them?
still
He's
together.
a cheater. You'll always be a cheater for the rest of your life. So it's.
I see.
Sorry, no offense. I can see you staring me down like.
I don't think it's a part of the
West
Nigerian
African culture,
though,
it really
West
is.
I don't
African
think it
culture.
is part of.
I don't
And I
think
feel
it's a
like
part-
you
it
guys are
is-
talking about men cheating. That's just everywhere. It's
It's
not
every
limited
country,
to just
every
Nigerians.
Even
ethnicity.
worse
talking
with Americans.
Americans are
Americans
cheating.
do it worse.
Majority.
The majority, you can't say Nigerians
You can't say
majority. You know,
majority.
it's a
Like,
big
there's
world.
some
You
good
can't say
Nigerian
all.
marriages.
It's more
What they call it?
acceptable.
couple.
I
You
feel like
can't even say it's acceptable.
Well,
You can't
more
say-
outspoken.
It's
Okay.
maybe tolerated, but it's not
But
acceptable.
I feel like
and
that's
it's
just
not-
culture
Well,
nowadays.
yeah,
It's not even
well,
about
that's
West
what I meant.
African. I feel like that's just
Tolerated,
everywhere.
yeah.
But Ola,
It's
what do you
not
think
even-
about all this say they always say around the Nigerian Yoruba demon and all that stuff? I still don't understand.
Me,
that
I
to
don't.
today.
I mean, to me, I feel like that just started as a
Everybody's a
joke,
demon,
and people
depending
just
how
take
you
that
Because I
out.
believe
Wait,
everybody's
what
demon.
is that?
Nah, it just started as somebody just joking. There was a picture of like Nigerian men in traditional outfit, like Yoruba traditional outfit,
Right.
and we call it agbada. So, you know, it was like all lined up together. And I'm pretty sure some girl saw the picture and was like, "Sheesh, they look good. Look at all these demons." Doesn't mean she doesn't want those demons. Doesn't mean she was saying like, "Oh, they're bad." She was just like, "Damn, like look at all those heartbreakers. Like, you know, they look really, really good." I'm telling you.
She saw one guy.
No, it was a group of them.
This motherfucker, she like, this motherfucking Yoruba guy, demon, and then the whole crew demons.
I mean, that's probably it, but regardless, it was still all of them in the crowd house. They were all looking good, and you know, like, oh, look at all those Yoruba demons. And then it just blew up after that. I don't see us being demons, man. Ain't true shit.
A lot of women agreed, so that
No,
kind of
they
says
did
that.
obviously
They
they're
do
gonna
agree,
agree.
and I'm confused. Like everybody
obviously they're gonna agree.
Y'all women agree. Because y'all women agree, this you niggas are gonna be more demonic. So keep it up, agreeing.
Well, you see, that's the thing about Nigerian culture. Like, we get the joke. What you guys think is like, oh, we get the joke. What you guys think is like, oh, really, really intense. Like, oh my god, they're really demons. Man, demons. No.
Y'all like demons.
All these Yoruba women that are telling you that, oh yeah, Yoruba demons, ask them, they'll still want to marry a Yoruba man.
Of course.
Exactly. So why it's the same thing. Like, oh yeah, demons. No, they know what they're talking about. They want that demon.
They're
demon.
But speaking of like the West and the East, one thing I did notice in the Atlanta scene is like all the French speaking. You went to Lycée, right, in Ethiopia, which is a French speaking private school. So you kind of like get along with everybody here.
And I was shocked the first time I heard her speak French. I was
That's
shocked.
the only thing I know.
Look, she was just talking one day, just talking at a time. She just talking to somebody. I don't know, just random start speaking French. I was minding my business. You speak French?
Yeah, I was shocked too.
Everybody that went to Lycée speaks French, but there is a segregation as far as like the French-speaking Africans kind of hang out Josephine, the West Africans hang out here, and then the East Africans hang out somewhere else.
Right.
Why do you think there is that segregation within Africa?
There's no segregation.
There is no segregation. I think you're wrong,
Ethiopians don't
actually.
party with the West Africans.
And that I agree with.
because they're jealous of us.
Ethiopia,
That's
I think
why.
it has a lot to do as far as the nightlife. I think it has a lot to do with the music.
I don't think.
Like,
No,
I feel
hold
like
on.
Ethiopian music, you cannot play like Ethiopian music like you play, like Afrobeat.
If you mix it properly, you can do it.
And Ethiopians like to go to clubs and actually listen. If you go to an Ethiopian club or if you go to an Ethiopian
It really
night,
is chill.
literally it's like they play their music like 60% of the time. You're gonna hear Ethiopian, and you're gonna be bored.
You're right.
So-
I feel like I don't see. Okay, so like right now, we used to do Lions, right? Lions is owned by an Ethiopian, and we used to have a majority of Ethiopians who actually come and enjoy Nigerian music.
But they hated it. No,
They might not have liked it as much, but they
Ethiopians
still
have
came
changed.
weekly though. They still were at the bar weekly.
Because
If
of
you
ownership.
notice.
Because mind you,
And then we still kind of played Ethiopian music.
How many
Like
places do Ethiopians really have to go?
Nowhere.
you're saying all this,
Lions
like I
is
said,
the
all
only
the
place-
spots, all the
But
spots,
they
they
own
own all
Yeah,
the
but
No,
they
because
have
the
spots.
thing
like an Ethiopian night.
Lions has an Ethiopian.
Because your music is
For
not
Friday night?
It's not only that Ethiopians don't pop out, also club
Yeah.
owners don't have time to have a whole
So
night
basically, you're telling us
dedicated to
Ethiopians who open up clubs, they only open up for West Africans,
Yes.
but they
For the
don't want to
most part,
invite
basically
their,
Nigerian.
they don't want to invite
Yes.
their Ethiopian members.
They don't enjoy going to.
It's all about money.
They want to make money. That's why they open it.
It's all about money.
Like Lions, when y'all
Our
had it
partner, I'll
on,
tell
because
you.
it was Africans there, they didn't really enjoy it the way
But
they
they
do
still
on
used to come,
Saturday.
though.
Because they don't have anywhere else to go.
Yeah, but I mean, all my as they can.
Okay.
But with the division of you saying, the French speaking at Josephine, that's one because not almost every French speaking
Yeah.
is going to Josephine.
Yeah.
I don't even think they
I
have
don't
that
think
many
so.
French.
Yeah.
I think you're only classifying that based on like
The
Such
ownership
being
is
The
French.
people you know,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
No,
But
it's
really,
all
most of
about
them
the
really be
music
at, like-
they play.
Yeah, it is,
It
but-
really is because I used to go to Josephine when you used to.
Yeah, but it was
work
mostly.
there.
But I'm talking about like
the
right now
French-
though.
Yeah,
Because
the
the
French.
music they used to play.
Oh, you're talking about back in the
old
day,
French-
Josephine, I
old
can
French
understand.
French nights.
But the new
Access
Josephine,
on
no.
Saturday. Have you ever been there?
Excellent.
No.
They
Okay.
went to
No,
play
it's-
songs that you would never play.
But that's
at
because they
Eden.
have a lot of
Ever.
Ivorians and a lot of, you know what I'm saying? There's lots of French
That's
speaking
what she
people.
was saying.
Nowadays, the new
That's
that's
what she's
what I'm saying. That's the new because they just merged with Heidi and them, right? So Heidi is Guinea, and then you have Bashir them and everybody else. That's why all that is happening now. But before, if you notice the real Excess on Saturday, they didn't really
Nigerian
play all that
Ghanaians.
either.
Right.
They still played major, but that's because of the crowd that's going with them.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what she was saying.
But they don't-
They all chill like
I mean, I
in
don't
different
still,
places.
In
They
different
don't-
places, true, but I don't see the division. They still go
I
to
have
other places.
Cameroonian
Like-
friends. I have French. Like,
They still come
French-
to Reef on
right.
Fridays.
French-speaking
They don't
Africans
like it.
like going
French
just
speaking-
before
Yeah,
they
because
go.
you guys, your Afrobeat is really like Nigerian and Ghanaian music. Well, kind of
Like
like
Love
No,
Lounge
we
was
play with the French
Love
speaking.
Lounge was French speaking Africans, and
then-
it was annoying. It's
Right.
like Their music is not like
Yeah,
It's
because
like the
Love
real
Lounge,
African
Yeah,
music.
Love Lounge is like
Right.
Love Lounge was like Queen's 2.0, you know.
oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you kind of agree.
Especially
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
Queen's opened Love Lounge, you know, it became Queen's 2.0.
Yeah.
And if you think about it now, what's next Queen's 3.0 is Evan Gotti.
Evan Gotti.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, like
so
what
would
it
you ever
is.
go to Van Gotti and be happy with the music?
I don't like Evan Gotti.
That's
love
what I'm
Evan
saying.
Gotti.
Every time I go there, I'm like, the music is trash.
Yeah.
But
Because
Evan
I'm
Gotti
used to
is the new
Afrobeat.
French.
It's a little-
So you're agreeing with her.
In a way,
You
but I'm
kinda
saying they
are.
still go to what they call it. They still go to other places. Not just like it's not like a division whereby you have like Ethiopians
I
on
mean,
one
you're
side,
still gonna have
Americans.
outliers.
But
every
majority,
rule.
we're speaking on majority.
Majority. Okay.
If
When
you,
it comes
okay, if you want to use
to
excess for
So
example,
they've
you
all
still have
agreed with
Nigerians who
you.
go to
That's
excess.
what it
what was the
boils down
agreement?
to.
Okay. What was the question again?
I was saying
She said
why
everybody's
there's
divided.
the division between like the French speaking.
Okay, so we didn't really answer it because the question was why is there? We didn't answer it. We just
The
know
music.
The music is the reason why.
Yeah, the music.
Now it is the music.
It is.
Do you enjoy French music?
I don't understand French
Any
music, so I can't
Some
enjoy
songs,
it.
if it's like French, yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not really French music. I don't understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
no,
It's like your
no
typical
offense.
French. It's like the French mixed with slangs and
Right,
the
right.
other stuff. So
But
yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, when you now that I'm thinking about it, there's a little division. Now I'm thinking about
A
it.
little.
Yeah, no, there's a
I mean,
big-
there is a little
No,
division, but I
there's
don't
a-
think it's
it's not
that
that
big
much,
like
but
you're
It's the
thinking.
music.
Is it the
Everybody
music?
It does
wants
have to do with the
their
music
own
because
music.
Yeah.
listen, but they
Right.
still like now if you go to
Even at
excess
the
on
club,
Saturdays,
even
like
if-
you said,
you go to
Nigerians are
excess,
still there. They
but
still
even
play
if-
Nigerian
Right,
Afrobeat
right.
music.
But like how
But
you said,
outlier.
even when you go to
That's what I'm
excess,
saying.
it's still divided within excess.
How?
It's like the French speaking
I've
Africans
heard
are
that.
If
all
you
for-
see that, that's to do whoever made the floor chart. That is no division at all.
Well,
Yeah.
That's
Because-
just whoever made the
because-
floor chart. If you really
Thank
look
you.
at it, like I do, the sections.
Because
But
even on
whoever puts
Sundays-
them together, that's how it is.
Yeah.
That's just because they
So
didn't
even
split
like
them
what
around.
eating on Sundays, I mean, they have a lot of French speaking people eating, but like they separate them, or you won't even know they're French. Like it's just a good.
Everybody's just all around. It's
Yeah.
not like it's even it's bio.
But I
Let's
think
put this
what
people-
like, I
let's
think
put
with
this
like
people-
Hadi
no,
and the
like
other
that.
French speakers, like they put what they do is that they put those
Their friends next to them.
next to each other and stuff like that,
Exactly.
and then every other nationality is on one side because. I remember Evan Gotti, for example. There's one night where I was there where it's literally one side is. Man, for the night you were there, like night you and I went, and you ended up leaving me.
Yeah.
She left me.
Dang.
But yo, that,
I was
I swear to
5
God,
minutes
that
being
night
there, it
turned.
was
No,
boring.
in the beginning, I'm not gonna lie. We got there early because we left from the studio. We got there, and it was boring in the beginning. I told her be patient because obviously we're early.
But I had somewhere to go.
So she had appointments, so she left. Yeah, well, I don't know.
It sounds so bad.
Not a date.
What kind of
she,
appointment?
she had better plans.
Late
What's
at
up on that
night,
late at
I
night?
know,
Tell me.
right?
I know, right? She had better plans than being with Nunu, so she left.
Well, you're
And-
kind of her friend.
I mean, there's some appointment though.
right?
Yeah, late night appointment.
She had a better plan, so she left and left me by myself. But yeah, it turned out to be dope as shit, man. What I realized was that we say that all the French-speaking people were literally on one side, and they,
No, because the thing is they are friends. So
Yeah.
if they,
yeah,
that's
that's
the
what
thing.
I'm saying.
They-
Like,
they're
that's why
friends,
they
and
want to
because
be next to each other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
When
both
I'm
are
reserved
together.
reception,
Yeah,
I always
so-
call you and I'm
But
like,
no,
can you put me next
I think
to
it's
Next
different
to,
from
right.
it's really
Yeah.
different from what
And then
we
whenever I
were
call
saying,
you, I'll be like, hey, let me get Ada's charity in them sections. I don't even want them there tonight, so please let me get.
And it
got
never
you.
works out because you
Never
always
works.
got you always
Because
got
I
it's
walk
all
up like,
about-
God damn, this
I got you. I
motherfucker.
just got Aida. I forgot you. I forgot
It's all
you.
about money.
you know.
But I have a
$10.
question maybe that Dele and Ola can answer. I feel like there's a specific group in Atlanta that hang out in like the hip hop scene, the urban hip hop scene. But when I see them, I'm like, why don't you support, the African? Why don't you come to the African? And they're like, it's lame. And I'm like, why? But why do you say that? But then when you have an artist come, you
They'll be
want to
there.
like jump.
Yeah,
Yeah, you want to.
yeah.
You want
You're
to
right.
take pictures, and you want. I'm like,
So
how are you
I'll
knocking the
actually speak on that. I
culture?
don't know what Dele has to say, but actually, you want to speak on
No,
that one
you
first?
say
Okay.
something.
Me as a promoter, I see that a lot. I see people say, "Oh yeah, we don't really fuck with like African scenes like that." But then when there's a major event going on, they will come and support. I mean, respect to them for supporting, but it's still like, damn, really, every other day we invite you out, you said no. But
When
it's
one
more so
thing,
towards like, to me, I really see it just as like the girls, the American girls, the fact that like now. Do I want to go to a mall on Saturday where there's a majority of American girls, or do I want to go to, let's say, Excess 11:45, whichever one of the two, where there's predominantly African or whatever.
But most
Who's
of
that gonna be
the
the
time-
flame?
As
but
for
what's
me-
the- but
as for
but
me-
what's most of the time they're walking in with American girls, even
No,
when they go to
Some
American
of
parties.
them, not everybody.
Not
Not,
let me
not
say
everybody
this.
brings sand to the beach, basically. So,
Let-
sometimes they want to come, do some fishing in the.
As for me, what I always feel like, okay,
Either
so
what we do, we carry
when
fish
she-
and we fish.
yeah,
We
no,
still
I mean,
carry
I
sand
do.
and fish.
But the thing about me is, most really in Ethiopia, I mean, I've been in this, state now for like 5 years.
He's lying 20.
But anyways, most Nigerians, they don't really like supporting each other. That's what I noticed.
It's not Nigerian.
Yeah,
it's,
it's true,
it's,
too.
it's
It's
African.
true.
I don't know if it's African,
Well,
but
except
if
in
Nigerians,
West African.
if Nigerians
West
knows
African.
that, oh, you open a spot, trust me, they will fuck you for a little bit, but after then, they will,
No.
for no reason, they will
Because
just.
they
No, no,
wanna
see, like,
see
no,
you
They don't want to
going
see you
them
prosper
down.
and stuff,
Right.
stuff like that.
He's
So
going
that's the
into
way
a-
I feel. I don't think
but
it's.
there's a group of people in Atlanta, and when I see them, I tell them all the time, like, why do you guys come on American night on Thursday to Amora, but you don't go on
On
Friday
African, yeah.
or African nights anywhere? And they're like, because it's lame. And I'm
See,
like,
you're
but
right.
you're the same
It's all about the
person
music.
Exactly.
that brings
Well,
the
no,
African
it's
artists.
not
And
the
the
music.
type of girls,
It's not
they
the
like
music.
to see variety of
The-
women, like
It's
mixed
really just to me,
girls,
really just about the
dark-skinned girls,
women. Because when you think
light-skinned
about it,
girls,
even
yeah.
if you want to even go in this, so let me even tell you something that can happen. You can say, okay, like, let's say use 11.5 for example. You said a section is like 750, and then you go to a more. The same section that's 3 bottles is 900 at the more. No
First of all,
problem.
Amora
And
is stupid to
more.
me.
No problem.
I don't like it there.
Well, I'm not agreeing.
No problem. No problem.
Why
Don't
would
pay-
I walk in the club 1 a.m. You're telling me to come and pay 1,500 for a section?
See,
At
look,
1
see,
a.m.
but that's the thing.
1
The
a.m.
people that you're talking
to
about,
walk
they will
in.
actually pay
No,
that
no,
money.
but see the thing about it.
But when it comes to American, like when it comes to the African events, 750 for a section. Oh, come on now.
But why do you
What
think they feel that way?
But the thing,
I
guess
don't-
what? They're
it's-
going to
that's
pay
what we want
at
to-
Amora.
when
They will
they
pay
pay that-
1,500.
yeah,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
why is there
That's
that
what I'm
support,
saying.
that's
It's
doing
just
the
the
support, they don't wanna
AIDS. It's just the
support, you
AIDS.
know?
Like
I don't
to me,
think
it's
it's
no, it is.
I think
To
it's
me-
like what they're used to.
no, it's not.
No.
No, it's
And
AIDS.
they
If you're
look
used
down
to
on
that, you're used to
Africans.
paying
It's
that
AIDS, like,
money
they don't
at a
want- they
middle,
don't
but you don't want to
see
come
you-
drop that money at
yeah,
a high.
like,
Trust me, you're
yeah.
going to see a lot of that whereby they'll go to a more, 1,500, right
They'll
there,
pay
count the
at
money and
Amora.
they'll pay it. Then they
Guess
come
what?
to your
Okay,
event,
now Amora does this thing on
1,600
Thursday.
nah.
Where
No,
they
no,
ask
no,
you
no,
guys
no,
and
no,
everything.
no, it's
A
just
section
no.
is like 3,000. I've seen niggas paying that 3,000,
Alright,
and
we
they
go
go there
there.
like
But
130.
then again, the guys that go there
You understand?
more, they spend money. You see
That's what I'm saying.
saying?
But when they come to African club, they don't even spend that.
Well, even the Americans that go there.
We're not talking
like,
about
no, no,
the
when the
Americans,
next
we're
section
talking
next
about
to you
the
is
Africans.
big.
We're talking about the
Listen, what it
Africans.
is in the African
That's
business.
what motivates you. I feel.
No,
No,
when
because
what it is in
regardless of
African
anything,
business.
like now, the next person has a section. The section is the same price as yours.
Of course.
Right.
But then you don't want to even spend that, but you spend 2 times that when you go to an
To
American
Americans,
event,
yeah.
and
No,
you wouldn't
I
even
know.
doubt, you wouldn't even question them like,
I
oh
know.
no, give me over here. They're still
Exactly.
come at you. Oh, Ola, fine. I've known you for.
You know why? It's
But
familiarity.
Ola, one thing again is
People
because me and my
actually
friend
feels
talked about
like
this
a
before.
table's a table.
One thing I know about it is this again is, first of all, sometimes I don't feel like going to African club because of the girls. Because guess what? It's always the same faces, the same girls.
True that. I get tired of
every
that
week.
shit.
And they
So
talk
the only
about-
reason why why I want to go to American club is
It
because
circulates.
Right.
they're different.
Hold on, so
New
that,
face.
there's
You know-
not there's the same girls that go to American clubs too.
But I've never
Yeah,
seen them
I've
before.
never seen them. That's my first
Hold
time
on,
walking in.
hold on. Let me
Often-
comment. Let me
But
But
comment
guess
on
what?
it.
to go
If you go
there
to Eden
and
right now,
after that you go
it's the
to
same people that were
African
there
club.
last week. You're gonna see
Let
this
me
week.
let me
But
comment
that's
on
not
that.
on time.
Hold on,
If you
Let me-
go to more that often, as
Yeah.
You're gonna
sometimes
see the
you
same
go to
people.
Eden,
No, that's
it's
right.
the same.
But let me
true.
comment on what you just said right
Yeah.
now. You say, okay, you want some different flavor of girls.
Right.
So now look at 11:45, for example. We kind of experimented with
Yeah,
that
we
one
have
because of the fact that
variety.
we worked with Americans, so you see variety of women. But it's still like, oh, nah, Americans.
And it goes back
so many
to-
Americans and Akata people. Oh, so which one is it? Where's the division of, okay,
Hold
yo,
on.
I want the girls,
It
but I
goes
don't
back.
want the,
It goes back to familiarity. I know you. Because I know you, you're my buddy. When I come to the club, I don't mind spending money at your club, but I'm not fixed to pay $100 for a bottle when I can go to the liquor store and get it for $45. You know what I'm saying? Whereas
That's every club.
that's every club. You know what I'm saying? But because I know him, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, Ola, you're my friend. So therefore, you know what I'm
so
saying?
you
Give me
feel
that
like-
friendship hookup. You know what I'm saying? Whereas I go to American club, I don't know nobody at the American club. So
They're
I
gonna
gotta-
charge your
But
ass.
you're the
Reason
same
why-
person with
Ooh.
your clothing line that says when you want more.
But listen, hold on. Listen, time out. Before no, it's not no expose. Time out. Now, Ola,
makes
you're a
sense,
promoter.
though.
Expose. It's not no expose. Ola,
Go ahead.
you're a promoter. I know business. Ola, how often have I ever asked you for a discount? Or never. Thank you, because I know business. When I
Because
go
you got
there,
money. We know
it's
that.
not because I got money.
You know you
whether
got money.
whether I have money or don't have money, I understand the principle of business.
Right.
I understand that Ola's my friend.
Right.
I understand that he has a business.
Right.
So therefore, in order for me to eat,
Right.
He has to eat somewhere. As a friend,
Right.
if I got that money, why am I going to go
Right.
spend at somebody else's club and
Right.
then spend that money
But that
without no
contradicts
argument?
what you said.
It doesn't
because if
contradict. No, it
you're
doesn't contradict
familiar
what
with
I'm
somebody-
saying.
No, you're
I'm
saying
I'm giving
for
an
other
example
people.
for other
It's not
people.
talking about him.
Well,
For
the
me, I
only
wouldn't do
time
that.
I feel like I'm going to ask you for a discount or, to get
When you're
less
doing
bottles
mass.
is, no, not only that, but if I come to the club, I didn't reserve anything and then I come in and it's kind of dead. I don't feel the need to
Thank
buy
you.
5 bottles.
When
So if
it's
you come and
dead,
tell me
thank
like
you. That I agree.
1,500, I'm going to be like, well,
Why?
it's
It's
not.
dead.
Like,
Why I pay
the
5?
section
But you see, at that one, it's not really a discount because you can say, oh, okay,
Right,
let me just
that's-
get it for like 2 or 3 bottles. That's not really a discount. It's still like, okay,
Okay, well,
it's not really packed in. Yeah, okay, cool,
Right,
whatever.
that's-
One
what I
time,
would do.
I first of all, I don't understand the concept of ask. I didn't even know you could ask for a discount in the club. First of all,
Trust
for a
me, I'm
bottle.
surprised.
Okay,
Second of
now
all-
that I know that now, Ola, what's up? Because I never knew about this.
Yeah, we're leaving from here.
My permanent thing is always, I don't own the club. I don't set the rules,
It's too late
I
now.
never
I still don't own the club. I don't know what y'all talking about. I'm still gonna say that even I is, I don't own the
But I
club.
understand your own point of view because I do that with Ola a lot. Like sometimes I walk into 11:45.
And you're like,
Ola is gonna be like,
it's
"Oh, the
like-
bigger section you have to do 5, but bro, I'm
You know,
only doing 3
but
bottles."
what I think is
Who's gonna
lame
drink
is
it?
asking
You see
or
what I'm
putting a
saying?
minimum on a section. I think that's kind of lame.
A minimum?
Yeah.
No, I think you have to.
I don't think you
It
get
depends on the
the.
night.
You have to.
No. Every night. So let me tell you how the
have to.
sections work, right?
And
If
that's
you
what
look
the
at
discount
sections
is.
nowadays, most people don't really charge when it comes to like the door. And even though some people do, it's just you have excess.
Yeah,
money
why you
for
buying
this.
bottles and you're still charging me outside? It doesn't make sense.
But that's why you get like
Ooh, I hate
a
that.
complimentary
Yeah,
entry
yeah,
and all that.
yeah.
But for like the places whereby there's no charge at the door, you standardly have to do the minimum at the section because regardless of fact like somebody comes, they only get 1 bottle at the section. How much are you really making off that bottle?
Exactly.
That doesn't make.
Well,
any
you're making a
sense.
lot because if I go to the liquor
You
store,
know?
it's like $37.
Listen,
This nigga.
that's what I used to think.
See, that's what
until
you
Ace
think
came
until
along.
you
And
open
I
up the
literally
club.
looked at like the wholesale
You have the
price.
expense
No,
of
that's
like
true.
the cost of
That
the
part
place
is-
itself.
No. I'm literally.
But you
It's like
understand,
$1
though.
difference
No.
from what you see outside.
No, it's true.
Most people think you
no,
get it for $20.
No, it's true because I actually borrowed club owners' their little
And
permit
you're
to get
forced-
liquor. You know what
right.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's not that much of a difference.
Yeah, it's
It's
like
really not that much of a
$2.
difference.
It's almost the same thing.
No,
That's
it's a
what-
difference. It's a difference based
The
on different
distribution
alcohol,
price
but
for
your
alcohol is the
primary-
Yeah,
same thing
to
you
the
see at
club.
the
The only
club.
thing you
Yeah, but when you sell it at the club, you're
You sell it for
you're
250.
making-
Well, that's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
that
But you
money
gotta
that you're
remember
making that you're
expenses.
seeing is expensive.
waitress,
Because
the
you find that
the
which is collecting
waitresses,
20% of what you're
you know,
The
seeing.
promoter.
the electricity.
No,
Thank
the-
you.
The
All that
waitress
stuff.
is
The cost to build the place, the
waitress-
DJ.
I
Yeah.
have to pay my DJ. I have to pay my
The
security. I have
20%
to
is
pay for the
included
light. I
automatically
have to
for
pay
That
a
I
lot of
agree,
things
and I
that comes
understand.
into.
It comes
You
a lot.
really kind of make like $60 a bottle.
I
by
mean,
the
that's
time-
still cool. That's
That's
No,
not
it
okay,
is cool, but it's
that's
not
why
really.
But it's not like a
overall
lot of money like we
Right,
always
You see
think.
what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Okay,
It's
yeah.
not what it looks
If
like.
you think
People
about
are
it,
like,
when you make $60
that bottle's
a bottle,
$30. You're
Well,
selling
at
it
It's
least-
10
for
bottles, 10
at least,
sections. It's
by
only
the
like
way,
$600.
you know,
$600,
nightlife
exactly.
club
That's why that
is
minimum
probably
matters
one
too.
of
If you
the-
look at it.
I understand.
Nightlife is one of the quickest way to turn around your money. Like you're gonna make your money back within 6 months.
Well, it depends. What
Yeah,
nightclub.
yeah.
Don't
If
always say
it
that.
fuck
If
with
they
you,
fuck with you.
I've
Yeah.
seen I've seen like local.
I've seen
Look at
local
Royo,
clubs.
for example.
I've seen
That
local clubs
nigga-
go down in 3
Yeah.
months.
Exactly.
Right.
And I've
Royo
seen local
open
clubs
just
go
as fast as
in
Royo
3
open,
months.
Royo
So
shut down.
Yeah.
So you can't really say that always.
Yeah.
And then
Not
when even if
always,
you're
but you know why I respect you guys is because, and I always said, I don't understand. Like I feel like it kind of worked out for Fisum at Arif because he came from nowhere. It's
Fisum.
Fisum at Arif. Like he came from nowhere and he established this thing and he was consistent and it worked out for him.
Right.
But I don't understand the people that think they can just out of nowhere without even being like a socialite or anything or having any experience can open up a club and they think it's just pop.
Well,
Because
no,
a lot
no,
of
to
people-
take it back.
Hold on,
Hold on, time out. Before
I mean,
you
the
continue,
difference-
stop.
let me
Before,
finish.
I don't want you to
No,
finish.
let me-
I don't want you to
Hold
finish.
on. Why
I
would you
don't
say
want you to
that?
finish
Let
because
me
I
finish.
don't because no, it's not rude because you're
That is
giving
rude.
credibility. You're giving credibility where it doesn't really where it
Let
doesn't
me
really.
finish my
I'm not gonna let you
statement.
finish.
That's
I'm
so
not gonna
rude.
let you finish. It's not rude.
Anyway,
You gave
before
Fitz some
you-
credit. You gave Fitz some credit
I
for a
have to
read.
respect the women that listen.
Before Fitsum, no, I don't care. Before
you should care.
before Fitsum made it, it was Nigerians that made Fitsum become what he is with
Till
Eric.
now.
No,
Did I
it was-
take that?
See,
What does
now-
that have to do
Nobody
with
said
anything?
anything.
Nobody
you
said anything about
what
that.
was the statement you made? What was the statement? Make a
Okay,
statement you
Love
made.
Lounge owners.
Okay,
basically.
continue Love Lounge. I like that
she's
one.
a-
I can give you. I
Anyway,
can fuck
my
with
point,
Love
that
Lounge.
wasn't my intention of saying even.
No, if you're gonna speak
what-
right, speak right. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, anyway.
Continue.
but Fism came out of nowhere too. If you think
Let me
about it.
land real quick. my point was
Where you
you
landing?
have Amora where it's like Benny and them,
working.
Plush. They've been in the game promoting for
Speak
10
that.
plus years.
Right.
That I can
And
agree
if you
with.
would have let me
Just bang them,
finish,
don't say
we
Plush.
would have. I would have landed. But like I said,
would
going
let
back
you
to you
land.
guys, you guys
I would
have
understood
been
about that.
socialites for a minute, and you guys been promoting. You guys been in the scene. You've been in the scene for a minute, so it makes sense you go that route. But I don't understand that the people where they randomly they have the funds behind it and they open up a club and then they just expect it to pop.
I mean, it's like what she said. Like, you know, people depend on the promoters. If you look at it, you're saying Fitzum, but Fitzum also started just from nowhere because when Fitzum first came with Are We For One?
But how rare is
Nobody's
that?
trying to knew.
Let's
It's
let
not.
me tell
Yeah,
you.
it's really rare.
Yeah,
But
it's
nowadays,
rare.
just because the people have looked at him like, yo, okay, this guy can really do it. Look to other people. Oh, this guy can really do it. Okay, all I got to do is open up the club. The promoters will come, and boom, I can do it.
But that goes
Yeah,
with
but
every
that's rare.
business.
That's
like,
one out of how. Yeah,
I mean,
that
it
goes with
is,
any
but I mean,
business.
Because I heard
Again,
about,
look
I heard
at
about,
Royo,
I heard
you
about
know?
a guy before. I mean, I don't know his name. I'll stop. Arif used to be pure.
No, he's
He used to be
Royal
called
Lounge.
Royo.
Roya, yeah, I heard the guy that
Exactly.
owns it. Then
Used to be
he
Nigerian
like
guy.
is rude to the promoters, and you know, like customers will come. For example, I want to go to the if I go to 11:45 or anywhere Ola is promoting, I don't even all the securities they know me already. I don't even need to pay or anything. But this guy, even though you are spending, you know, original customers that comes to your club spend money, you still they said, oh,
You
I
treat
have
them the same
yeah,
way.
But
you
you
treat
see,
them the same way regular.
he
and
says
you know,
this.
You know, just
that's not good for business. So I mean,
to
that's
speak
No,
on
I
that
know,
one.
I know.
Wait, to speak on that one. To speak on
Let
that one.
Ola
What you're
finish,
saying,
let
right?
Ola
Because of the fact, like, okay, the thing is, I know you're talking
The owner
about.
period. You ain't got to say no names.
Okay, I won't mention it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
But you know, I know what you're talking about.
Right.
And, you know, even though for a while we kind of had like that miscommunication of like, oh, this happened and whatever.
Right.
I still respect him. But the thing about him is just the same way as you said. Okay, you open up a club and just thought, okay, automatically this
people
is gonna
just
work.
no.
After a while of you having deals like with some people and you don't really follow through on what you're saying.
Thank you.
That kind of spreads around and it's like, oh, do we really want to go there? And you have to think about like, yo, if you don't have like your foot in the ground and as you said, you've been established in this game, you're not really going to last unless you really know like people
Right.
and you're like friendly with people.
Right.
What
Yeah.
befits him to me, like I don't know, you know, it might be different for him. I'm not trying to go against him or whatever. But the fact like when he first opened one, you really didn't even know Fitzum owned a reef.
Exactly.
You really thought Caesar owned the reef because most
Thank
people
you,
probably
Nigerian
really
money
thought
bastards did
Caesar
that
owned the
shit.
reef. Now that kind of boosted the reef to the level
Big
where
time.
it is, big time. But
Big time.
I know, as I said, no disrespect to him, but
Yeah.
that's
Contradicts
really what
what
most
you
people
guys
thought
were
up unto a
saying
certain
that.
not
point.
You guys were
Contradicting.
just saying that Nigerians or West Africans don't really support their own people, but now you're telling me that the reason why Arif was popping was because a Nigerian man claimed
Nah,
or
I never
was
really said they don't support their own,
owner.
but they don't support their own
They don't support their
sometimes.
own.
It's not
Okay,
always.
But that's
If
the
it's
reason-
him, it's
But it's not like
okay.
everybody that
If they
doesn't
find out
support
that
their
Caesar
own.
But
is
they
Nigerian.
thought Caesar, or whomever the guy is,
Is it Nigerian?
was
Yes,
yeah.
you know
That's what
Caesar
I'm
now.
saying. So you kind of, I feel like y'all.
I mean,
Let me
it's
give you
in
a
and
quick
out, right? It's not
rundown.
like as if everybody supports,
so
but they
it's
say
not
like
really
the
a
big,
rule.
big.
But that
okay,
is-
yeah, it's not like, oh, it's
Before
like
you-
predominantly
Situation
Time
is
out.
a rare
Before you go,
situation.
no, before you
Like, it
continue,
doesn't have
let me give you,
the
let me give you how.
business-
No, no, it is a way because he
It's
came
a
out.
rare
The
He
thing
first
is,
he came
I
out at
don't
the
think
right
it was-
time because nobody there was really no lounge like
It's
a
just-
week
no,
back
I'm
then.
assuming
Oh, yeah,
that-
Arif is
There
always
was
He
really
opened
no,
up at the
yeah,
right time.
exactly.
It wasn't the right time. It
But
wasn't.
as
Nah,
of
that was
right
the
now,
perfect
No,
time.
that was the
Trust
perfect
me.
time.
If you open up, if
No,
you
no, no.
open that same
Clubs-
lounge right now, I don't think you would last like with that lounge right now.
Right.
Of course not.
I think it was the Caesar guy, whomever he is. I feel like he was known in the
He
community.
wasn't.
He was
I mean,
known.
no,
Or
Caesar
he was
was not
known
taking
in
it back. I take that back.
a
Caesar
nightlife.
was.
The same way with Amora, like, and I'm maybe just talking out of my ass, but I'm sure they have partners, but they put them as, you know, Benny, Bello, and them are like the main people that you think own the
They
whole
know
thing,
people and all
right?
that stuff,
Because
like people.
people fuck with them. You
and
see
they've
what I'm
been
saying?
promoting for 5+
Right.
years.
So I feel like that's
Benny
what.
and them.
Benny, of
Yeah,
course.
so I feel like that's what Fitzum did. Fitzum is like literally, I don't know anybody, so why not put
No.
somebody that?
Well, no. What happened was with Fitzum. When it first opened, a reef was like, what, this, it was like this size.
small,
It was
yeah.
like literally this
Right.
size.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
The
What
vibe
happened
was
was
perfect.
nobody knew a reef was over there. One day, Nigerian money bastards, they just went there. That's what that's the Nigerian money bastard. They just went there. That's the
Now,
name.
that's what he's called himself.
Yeah, that's what he's called himself. You know, Nigerian money bastard. He just went there.
wow.
Yeah, so it was literally a hole in the wall. You know, so he went
Right,
there.
I remember.
He just kept on going there, and then he started spreading the word.
Because guess
Slowly.
what? Something like that similar is happening now. You know. Do you know this spot? Addis has been has been there for a
Where?
long time.
Addis
Addis
yeah,
Open.
yeah.
For a long
But
time.
guess what?
But that's not a club.
I mean,
that's
no,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
But,
No, but I'm
that's
not
not allowed.
no, listen, that's allowed.
Back in the day, people didn't.
Back in the
I
days,
get what
people
you're saying, people didn't go to this.
Yeah,
Nobody.
2012,
But nowadays,
2012. I used to go
You
there.
can't walk in a this.
Yes, nobody.
When I
But guess
see
what? If
anybody
you
you
go
know.
there now,
Especially when you go by all
Yes.
see people.
Now.
Daytime, regular time.
Starting from 12, exactly.
No, you probably went on
And it's
Wednesday.
one of people like saying, "Oh yeah,
It's like-
this place is chilling spot and everything."
Yeah, it's like
That's
that.
what it looks
It's
like.
like
So
that.
yeah.
But that's been there for Jimmy. Been around for like 10 plus.
But it
years.
took time for
It's the same
somebody.
thing.
It took
Somebody,
time.
and it's
exactly.
Nigerian.
Love
That's
has
started
been
it.
a long
When I used to
time.
go to Love Lounge, I used
Nobody
to go
was
like get
there.
Ethiopian food and then Versace, and then we're like
One day just
they were like, oh, let's promote, and they took me there. I was like, this is a restaurant. Why are we in here? They had like literally chairs, like those folding
regular
chairs.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next thing you know,
Shout out to all the Nigerian brothers though.
right?
Word up.
They
Come
killing
on,
it.
seriously. You know?
But you guys, we're running out of time. Thank you so much for coming on the
Thank
show,
you.
Ida,
Definitely.
Ola, and
You're welcome.
when is the opening date?
No,
Friday.
shooting for Friday.
Where's it at?
Friday.
Where's it at?
No, seriously,
Yeah.
just give us the
Right.
full, give us like whether we shoot it for Friday or
Give
not.
us
You got
exclusive.
you on here. You got to give it exclusive. You got to let
So
everybody know
the
when it
plan
is.
is
We can
so
fuck
the
with
plan
you.
is to have a soft opening on Friday and the
Okay.
grand opening on
The soft open. Did people get personal invitations? 'Cause I haven't got mine
not yet, not yet.
And I didn't get mine
We're gonna
yet.
shoot that
So
out
You
this
guys
I'm
do
looking
a
at Ada.
private party?
We're gonna shoot that out
I'm
this
looking at
Shout
Ada.
about it.
You should do a
Am I
private
getting a
party.
personal invitation, Ada?
We know too many people
I'll
for
send
anything
you
to
the
be private.
flyer.
And I'm not trying to have
I'll send
anybody
it to
say,
Dele.
oh, you didn't invite me to
Well,
what they
you
call it and
are
then say I'm not
always
coming there
welcome.
anymore. So
Listen,
private
no,
parties
you
are like
should
the
do
worst
it.
thing.
welcome, my nigga.
It doesn't have to be like a big private party. It could be
But then
exclusive,
you don't
like
invite
30,
one person
40
and then
people.
it's like,
I mean, just for
oh
us to
man, you
see
didn't
and
invite
you
me.
know, because we are the kind
That's what we're
we are the
doing.
type, we are the
And
perfect
it's
people
like,
to
we
tell
wanna
people
celebrate
about it.
life. You
Of
get what I'm
course.
saying? It's our birthdays. We want to celebrate. At the same time, we want people to come
Right.
out, show us love, and give feedback. You know,
Okay.
for people
So-
to be like, okay, you guys need to do better in this. We actually want to close for like a week and basically make sure that we got
Everything's better. Everything is one.
yeah, right.
Right, yeah.
I don't want to be like opening for no reason and everybody hates it.
So before we go off, before we get out, we're about to end. Now we ran down with Royal Lounge before Royal Lounge was down to New Reef and stuff. You know what I'm saying? We spoke about our Nigerian men owning Royal
Yoruba
Lounge.
demons.
Well, I don't think he's Yoruba. But yeah, he's Yoruba.
You're by angels.
Okay. So we talked about our Nigerian brother
Let's just say
owning.
no offense to everybody we mentioned. We're just
There's
promoting
definitely no offense
guys.
ever.
This
We're
is
just
free
speaking.
promotion.
Yeah.
Amen. There you go. But anyway, we speak out
Also just
like
opinions.
how
Right.
can we help you guys establish and continue making your new business better?
Feedback.
Because like I said, once again, when our Nigerian brother tried it,
Right.
and saying no matter what the problem was, we didn't really support it as
Right.
we didn't support him no matter what it was, whether he was a good guy or bad guy. The truth be
Nah, he was
told,
a good guy,
we
for sure.
didn't exactly. But the truth be told is that we did not, as
Support.
Nigerians, West Africans, we didn't support him and make it
Right.
bigger than what it is. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So now my brother's on this shit, so I
Right.
gotta fuck with him. You
Right.
my sister, because I fuck with you on so many different levels.
Right.
How can we make this business for you guys, this new business venture for you guys, pop and continue to spread around the city and then hopefully help those
I
around
would like
us.
to see like a night because you're from
Forget a night. How can we help you guys?
I would want to see like something where it's like not
mixture.
yeah, a mixture. Because I kind of feel like what's that place by Pier Lounge? Sheba used to
Sheba.
started being like that.
Right.
What
But
happened to
then
Sheba?
it closed.
Okay.
Sheba became chick.
Oh,
chick,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, to answer your question, I feel like feedback is really important.
And support.
And
Of course.
support,
Those two, that's pretty much it.
But how do you get the support? That's the thing. So I mean, you
To
must
me, it's
have
like-
a very good service and try to
Right,
convince people and
service
everything.
and
yeah.
treating your customers right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
And
really,
You can tell, like, I mean,
What-
I think
as
we
for
gotta
me,
take
as for me,
kind of
I feel
What-
like you
what I
guys
think
will
is-
understand the best because
That's
you guys
what
been
Already
in client.
experienced.
Living,
Yeah.
yeah.
and thank you. Can you say it again? Because he doesn't get it.
I don't get
There's
that.
two Ethiopian women talking,
But
so
that's
no.
what-
You're saying that, but
I
every
got
week,
your back. I
every
know
week,
they
who
always
got
gang
every
up on
week who
you.
got your back on Sunday? Exactly. Every week, who takes care of you whenever anything?
You.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
And
think-
that goes for everybody. Dele took an attest to that when he needs Ola Alpha. I did where you get. I got
Even-
you,
even
brother.
sometimes if I don't
You know
show
what I'm
up,
saying?
you'll be like-
Exactly. I just like, yo, just let me know
That
next
means a
time,
lot
please.
to
Got
us.
you.
Exactly.
As a client, it means a lot
But
to
that's
me
what I'm
to go
saying.
somewhere and I feel like I have some kind of power.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And
Like,
that's
if
what
you
I want
notice,
people
That's
to
it.
feel.
That's
To be
it.
like,
Because
hey,
there
I
are
always
some
come
times-
here,
That's what we
cut
build
the
our
line,
brand
open
on.
that thing. Let me, and that actually makes me want to spend money.
But
That's
And
what we
a
built
feeling
our
on
brand
People
on.
understand.
The fact that customer
Customer
support
service is A1.
A1.
And it's more
Once
than
the customer service is
because
good,
customer
and
service
yeah.
is like
Bro,
making
you can
shit
take all
on
my
point.
money.
Yeah.
But making
All your
people
money?
feel
Come
special.
there, about 10
no,
bottles
no,
this
no,
Friday
no.
then.
Come to 10 bottles.
10 bottles, I
I'm
got
a mod.
Like I was
Those days are
telling
over
Ola,
with.
It's my birthday.
I-
His
Bring
birthday.
some friends.
So
You know what?
about
I
It's
only
Ada's
like
birthday. I don't know about
going
10
to-
bottles.
some
I got
friends
2 bottles, man.
to- Don't worry about it.
Like I was telling Ola, like I only like going to places where like I feel weird going to 11:45 now because Ahmed's not there. Like I only like going to places that I'm very familiar with the owners.
Me too. That's me.
And that's just because of that comfort level.
Do you know Biniam like that?
I know Bello. My sister.
Biniam.
Who's Biniam?
Benny.
Ari?
Oh, okay, Eden.
Eden?
Oh yeah, of
Eden,
course. That's
I
why I
love
forgot
Eden,
Eden.
but to me, Eden is you. I don't even think about the owners. You
Yeah,
get what I'm
that
saying?
is
It's
true.
like,
Yeah,
I
no, I feel
communicate
you.
with you.
No, there's certain
but
places
when
where I don't
go
even
to
think
Yeah,
about
some
the
places,
I
promoters.
communicate.
like
There's certain
SL
places I don't
Lounge,
think about the promoters.
I don't know anybody in SL.
Exactly.
I don't think
But
any one of you guys
if
know
you
who
take
owns
me to
SL.
Excel,
I don't know.
if
Exactly.
I-
Nobody knows
To
SL. But I fuck with them because of the
you
promoters.
represent the
Who-
owner.
Who owns SL? I know.
Ruggs
I know
is
personally.
part owner.
Part owner.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
part owner, but
But
The
who
actual-
fucks with him? I don't fuck with him.
I don't know him.
I don't know him
I
like
don't even
that.
know what he
Yeah,
looks
small
like.
relationship.
I feel like it's
But
rude. So
Definitely
he might be nice
But
to
the
other
reason
people.
I've
why
never
we
heard it
feel like that is I like going to Just because I know Serge, but I know like I won't have a problem with anything. I know if I have
Right.
an issue at the door, if I have
just
issues
call
with
her.
my
She's not getting
She
waitress,
just likes that connect,
I
you know,
know
that
I
network
can
connect.
call.
Like I'm,
She knows.
But
Sometimes
that's
I'm
not-
like, behind him,
Yeah.
good.
It's not me. It's just it's
Like if I
everybody.
throw a cup at
African.
somebody,
They're like,
nobody
don't
gonna
you
push
like
me
that?
outside and tell me I
Exactly.
gotta go.
Exactly.
No, that's a good
Very
feeling.
different
You know how
people.
the
You
feeling.
too.
You know
If
the
I'm
feeling.
willing to-
If you were to come to Ace Atlanta,
I can
right?
fight in your crew,
and
you
then
won't
like
get me
there's a
arrested.
whole lot of people outside. You're like, you know what? Let me
Ada.
call Ada.
Then I don't
real
have to
quick.
stay on the
You're
line.
like, Ada, come get
Yeah.
her, and I come out and
I
I'm
mean,
like, hey,
sometimes
all
I
these
wanna
people.
go out with my, you know, my visitors,
be
my
coming
girls.
back. You're gonna be like,
I wanna
"Yeah,
give them
yeah,
the VIP treatment.
You gonna excuse me?
I want them to
You
walk
have to
in,
wait.
you know, and all that stuff.
But you see the problem.
Every
Let me tell you,
African
hold
wants to
on.
feel that way.
Exactly. Let me tell you the problem with that. Everybody, as soon as
every
you start
African
doing
ain't every
that,
African.
everybody gonna be stuck on.
But
Oh,
that's
Ida,
when we-
Ida.
But everybody don't need to be treated that way.
That's what I'm
No,
saying.
you
They're
can't do
gonna feel
everything
that
to
way though
everybody.
when
If
they
he comes
come.
and pops
Even
like
if
10
they're
bottles,
spending
I'm
money and
definitely
they are
gonna
gonna
be
be
Ten
influenced.
bottles.
It don't matter.
I just
Next
take
time they'll
some
do
of
10
my
bottles.
myself.
Next time they'll do one.
Okay, so that's why.
They're gonna
Okay,
still
so
feel
listen,
like
check
that.
this out. That's why I really like the guy that owns Eden. On my birthday this year, I didn't plan for it. We went for something.
Yeah, we
like
went
that.
to a birthday party or something.
Yeah, something like that. Graduation party for
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Then everybody was like, "Oh, it's a birthday. Let's go to Eden." We were Eden. Okay, boys showed love. They bought bottles and everything. And guess what? The owner surprised me. Gave me this big ass bottle. Just be like, "Dele, this is for you." Because he knows why
knows you
I
support
come
him.
always and fuck with him.
But you
and,
see,
you know,
that's the
so
thing about
that's
I'll give
that's what I
Biniam
like.
that. Like that's when it comes to Biniam, he
Yeah.
knows that.
And the
customer
shit
service
that
is
really
like,
fucks
yo,
with
And
him
he's
with.
a smart man.
No,
Yeah.
he's a very smart businessman. The shit I fuck with him with, he's like, Nunu, I got you. Here you go.
I've seen him do that.
And the
Yeah.
waitresses too.
Love
You gotta
him.
give
Oh, and
it
the
to
which,
them.
yeah.
See, that's what I love about his
So if you
Nah,
can do
your
that,
faces are real.
No,
we
that's
started
the
this talking
thing.
about your
customer
when it comes to
service.
customer service,
You guys
service,
get A1.
yeah.
Have y'all hired your waitresses yet?
That's
So,
what we're doing.
I got two people I want to recommend.
Just tell them come to the
No, also,
interview on Tuesday
when?
and Wednesday.
Text me the information.
Oh, wait, hope they
No,
don't
no,
those.
no.
Anyway, you guys,
If
thank
I
you
don't-
for
Okay,
coming.
no what? That
We
was no getting. Okay, now what?
were worried that we wouldn't have enough time, but obviously we're going
More than enough
overtime.
time.
Yeah.
Official.
So thanks again for coming.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thank you.
Opening
for
is
having
Friday.
us.
Friday.
Yes,
Ace
Friday.
Atlanta.
Ace Atlanta.
I'll be
Ace
waiting for my
Atlanta.
special invitation.
Yeah, we all
Special.
had to wait.
Right. You will get it. Don't worry.
No, I don't want text
Well,
message,
what's
man.
your-
I want
Phone call, like, hey.
I don't want a phone call. I want somebody knocking on my door.
So you want something that can hit the door?
You know me.
Right.
I
I
want
have
that
like
knock.
10 Dele's numbers, so.
You got 10
Oh, listen.
number, right? Whichever one answers,
You
Right.
gotta try all of them.
Oh, I got my number.
Dele one, Dele new, Dele old.
Sometimes I don't even know anybody. I be like, is this Dele's number now?
I don't even say his
Right.
number no more. I don't even say his number. I'm like, why? What's the
Anyway,
point?
I'm closing out. Thank you again for
But
coming.
once again-
You can catch us on IG, theafrobuzz.com, on our website, theafrobuzzshow.com, and on our IG, the Afrobuzz Show, and it's BB Lee.
And it's your boy Mike Newton, aka Newton, the chosen one. And once again, thank you so much, Ada. Please
Thank
give us
you.
your
Guys,
handle.
next.
We'll see you
Can
guys
you
on
give him
Friday.
the handle?
I mean, you already got it.
Yeah,
Ola
Kinola.
on IG, you know.
And
Simple.
Onika, Otinka, how do you pronounce it?
Authentic.
Authentic.
I thought it was authentic too.
That's the whole point.
Authentic.
Yeah.
It was authentic. I never really look at names. You know, I
And
just
you
like.
can follow me on
Bye.
Instagram at Dele BMDELE.
Dele's like,
They'll say
follow
fuck
me.
me.
I'm not
What does the DM mean?
Feels, Mr.
Yes, I'm a body loading. God, you know it feels on the beat, though. Don't stress, I got you on the intro.